Welcome, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first two cards in our 5-card spread? First two cards we are starting our day off with. We got 3 cards coming out. I'm not surprised to see it. 4 of Cups in its upright in combination with Ace of Wands in its reversal, in combination with our 9 of Wands in its reversal. So let's talk a little bit about this right now, because I'm going to tell you some of this. I like to describe like this eclipse is like, welcome to like the bottom of the barrel eclipse like season. It's like, it really is like, it's a lot of this, like, it's just a lot of this like scraping, grating kind of energy. It's uncomfortable. It's annoying. It's like, I just keep on getting this, like, I got to stress this right now. And it's very interesting because we have been seeing this 4 of Cups. And I need to stress this because this is really important. This 4 of Cups that we're seeing here, this is effectively the card. This is the card that we ended our reading on yesterday. Okay, look at this deck. There's a lot of cards in this deck. And so for us to receive this card, the card that we ended our reading on yesterday, being the very first card that we're pulling today, this is indicative to the fact that this is a continuation on a lot of the messages that we were receiving yesterday. So let's talk a little bit about this, because, one of the things that we see is, and I keep on hearing a lot of the path work, and this is why a bit of that full moon in Leo was giving us I keep on hearing the full moon in Leo was a dress rehearsal for what we're experiencing this month, because it has to do with the space of not dwelling on things. I keep on hearing it's not about dwelling on things, because what happens, I got to point this out, what happens when we dwell on things, right? When we dwell on things, we don't activate, right? When we dwell on things, I keep on hearing, when we dwell, when we ruminate, we don't activate, right? It's a lot of that space, or a lot of that. I keep on seeing there's a lot of this work right now, and this is all of these messages that are coming through with like Neptune moving out of Pisces into Aries, right? Because I keep on seeing that the ability to move into pathwork of determination. Sometimes when we feel a lot, right? Sometimes when we feel too much and we feel confusion around what we feel, the emotions feel like they drag us down, right? It's almost like, I keep on seeing this vision of the fact of like emotions that just feel like gravity. They just like hold us, like it's like that slog of determination, right? It's like that lack of motivation. But that's why I feel like what's beautiful about the fact that kind of Neptune is transiting during this eclipse cycle is it's saying that and that's what's like, here's the thing about it, like the message that often comes through with a transit like Neptune is depth does not change progress. Like when Neptune moves, it's like you have to think about the ocean, right? The ocean is deep, but it's not stagnant. Right? The ocean is heavy, but it's not weighed down. When you're in the ocean, it buoys you up to a certain extent. And so there's a lot of this work that I keep on seeing that is finding healthy ways to process through emotions right now. Healthy ways of processing a lot of intensity. And it's heavy. It's hard. Like sometimes in those moments, it feels like what we're carrying is overwhelming. And what allows us to feel like, and that's why I keep on also getting a sense that, working through some of that feeling of isolation right now is key. Because I keep on seeing that not only is there an intensity of feeling, but the thing with some of this Venus in retrograde energy is that it feels like, it's like you feel like an intensity, and then and like Venus in retrograde almost whispers to you and says, it's only happening to you, right? Like it's only like the Venus, like, oh no, I feel like this, and it's only happening to you. Like that's the Venus in retrograde, right? It creates the indulgence point that we have to avoid, right? The indulgence point that we have to avoid during this eclipse cycle is it me? Am I the problem? Like, it's a lot of that feeling, because like Venus in retrograde makes you feel, I told you that this was kind of happening. We were talking about this during the Leo full moon cycle, right? It feels like people get it. It feels targeted. Like it's not just the fact that you feel heavy, but it sometimes feels like it's just happening to you. But that space, what happens when you're able to navigate that with a sense of compassion, right? Like when you're able to navigate that from a space of saying it's not about the self, right? It's about being in the space of trying to like move, doing the best you can, if you will, right? And that I keep on hearing like the mantra of compassion for navigating through some of this eclipse energy is, Spirit does not demand us to be perfect. Spirit demands us we do the best we can, right? Like, because again, and this is why it's hard coming out of some of this like Virgo energy in like the Virgo full moon, because, and this is for those who have Virgo placements, you'll know this very intuitively. One of the difficulty points that often Virgos have to work through with their lessons is not letting perfect stand in the way of good, right? Not allowing one's own sense of being able to see ideal. Like Virgos are blessed in the fact that they can literally see ideal. But that's also, it's like, I keep on hearing, it's like the blessing and the curse of those with Virgo placements, because it's like when you see ideal, it constantly feels like you're failing, right? Even as you're moving closer towards something. So, I feel like, again, it's much more of the same lesson that we saw that was coming through to help us navigate through a lot of this roughness, right? Perfection is not a destination. You can't chart it on a map. Perfection is a cardinal direction, right? And when we remind ourselves that perfection is a cardinal direction, it's always out of reach. We're immediately able to come into a space that we can hold compassion for the journey of trying to move towards perfection instead of getting hard on ourselves about the fact that we're not perfect. Third card in our 5-card spread, center card for today. Empress in its reversal, because everything around us sometimes feels like it's articulated in showing our flaws, right? We have those moments. We often build into this because, again, and this is what we talk to, when we hold ourselves to unrealistic standards, then not only do we punish ourselves, but we punish everyone around us, right? Like that work or that space of coming into that path work and identifying what it feels like. This is like the heart of compassion exists in the fact that you don't have to be perfect to be loved. And I got to say that again, the heart of compassion lives in the space that you don't have to be perfect to be loved. And if you feel challenged by that, then I'm going to turn this around on you. I want you to think about anyone you truly care about. Now, you tell me right now, do you love them because they're perfect? Or do you love them for their eccentricities? Do you love them for those moments that make them unique and rarefied? Love does not need to be in the existence of the space of perfection. And that's why I keep on seeing that there's a lot of this work right now. And that's the thing about it. If you're holding I'm telling you right now, if you're holding yourself to unrealistic expectations or standards, this energetic experience that we're having right now may feel very rough, because it makes the Venus in retrograde cycle makes everything look worse than it is. The Mercury retrograde cycle makes everything feel like it's falling apart, right? So I want you to understand that you're walking through that right now, right? You are walking through an energetic cycle that it feels like it's energetically screaming at you. Everything is awful. Everything is ugly. And then with Neptune transiting, nostalgia being created and saying everything good was back there. Okay? What do you do as you navigate that? What do you need to bring forth? What was the gift that we had prior to this experience? Leo full moon. Love does not need perfection to exist. Love exists in finding what it is that we care about. So I keep on seeing, if you're feeling this right now, if you're feeling energetically triggered, I want you to start putting that love back towards the self and allow that same level or degree of compassion not only to expand to the self, but to those around you, right? You are not flawed. This energy will make you feel like you are flawed. Let those flaws become facets. Let them, again, our journey is one where we find that sense, or we find that space of identifying and recognizing what beautiful is. And so a lot of this work, I want you to challenge yourself. And if you're feeling that weight, how can I make this beautiful? Okay? Don't say everything is ugly. Say, how can I make this beautiful? Now, as it relates, that's what we're seeing. If a lot of this energy right now in separation, I keep on seeing that I keep on hearing there's a lot of closing out of cycles and opening of cycles right now. And I'm telling you right now, a lot of that closing out of cycles that may be occurring have to be in the space about the difference between problem focused versus solution driven, right? Because here's the thing. If these are situations or circumstances where something wasn't moving forward because it isn't perfect, it's almost like that recognition point that is an unattainable standard, you know? Like it's that moment of saying, if someone doesn't feel like they want to move forward in connection because they're always able to find a fault, it's like news break, like flashing news. There's no existence that you inhabit where there isn't something that needs to be corrected for, right? So we're almost seeing and recognizing here that ability of understanding that, right? I can see some energy right now that is talking towards the fact that they're healing from circumstances or situations where they felt like they were being held to an impossible standard, right? Held to a point where it's like you can't, like it's like I keep on getting, it's like Zeno's paradox, because if someone doesn't want to move forward in a connection because they're always saying it's not perfect, you can always, like, it's like white glove, you can always find something. It's like Cinderella's never coming to the ball, because, like, you know, it's like you can always find something, right, to be an energetic blockage point. And this is why I keep on seeing that, like, a lot of that work in terms of recognizing and identifying what progress feels like, you know, like a lot of that space, when we are able to be in that point of building into a pathwork of compassion, when we build that compassion for the self, that is the energy and this is why these are chariot partnerships that are forming right now, because this is the energy that says we don't wait for perfect to get done. This is the energy that says we don't wait till perfect to get done. We build with what we have. We make the best in terms of what's surrounding us to build the thing that pulls us forward, right? So there's a lot. I keep on seeing there's a scrappiness. there's a scrappiness to some of these partnerships that are forming during this time that are admirable, because it does feel like the type of energy that's chariot energy. They're like trying to move the chariot forward, and they're sticking the wheels on the chariot as it goes. You know what I mean? Like they're just kind of working through that. But that's why I see that there's a lot of this energy right now that feels like it's like these partnerships that are starting right now during this energy. They're slow to start. Because I keep on seeing that the slowness is actually a space of compassion that they're giving to one another. Because I keep on hearing that these are the energetic partnerships that are coming together that have been burned, not from a lack of love, but from a love that did not feel like love. Because when we hold love and we carry too much fear, our love doesn't feel like love. It feels like we're just giving someone our fears. So this is the energy that is approaching each other gently to say to one another, not only is it safe to build a connection with me, but I've done that work on myself to navigate through my fear so that my love does not feel like I'm giving you fear, so that my love feels like love. Fourth and fifth cards in our 5-card spread for today are... we have here our Lover's card in its reversal and our King of Cups. Now, this is having a different impact depending on the frequency cycles. Now, for a lot of the energy right now that is coming into divine union, right, we have to define that a lot of these energies right now coming into divine union, remember, these are the warrior partnerships. So these were the partnerships that were occurring last month during the Mars retrograde. So the energetic connections that are coming together now are the chariot partnerships. The energetic connections that were coming through during that Mars retrograde cycle were effectively the warrior partnerships. So there's something really important about the warrior partnership in being able to see something about the self but not be triggered by it, right? A lot of the warrior energy doing that work on the self that doesn't allow oneself to be triggered, because when we're not able to be triggered, we're able to see with more clarity. So I keep on seeing that there's a lot of energy that's building into a pathwork of nostalgia, being able to look back on a past version of self, potentially even sharing that past version of self with counterpart. And it's in that space of effectively, I keep on seeing that there's a disambiguation point that's happening in terms of energy, looking back upon a past version of self and saying, I wish that I knew you back then. And this is the energy that says to each other in connection, if you knew me back then, you wouldn't have liked me because I'm not the same person, right? Like it's the energy that looks back with sentimentality. The counterpart's looking back with sentimentality on something that another person is ruminating upon. Right? Because that's sometimes that I keep on hearing that delightful unfolding that occurs when we understand the depth of a journey isn't necessarily characterized by what we can see on the outside, but what is occurring on the inside. Now, for masculine and feminine energy deep within divine union right now, this is feeling like, I need to describe this right now. This is like crankiness. This is just working through like a lot of energetic rowdiness for a lot of the energy deep within divine union. And a lot of that, like it feels, and I'll tell you, it's a lot of that Venus in retrograde cycle that makes one feel, I keep on seeing that one of the issues that's occurring right now for energy deep within divine union is not just being triggered for the self, but it's feeling not letting oneself be triggered for counterpart. You know, it's a lot of this, it's a lot of this, you can't talk to them like that. It's a lot of that hold me back kind of thing. Continuing to get clarification. Don't get triggered. Listen to me. Don't get triggered. Continuing to get clarification between our Four of Cups in combination with our Ace of Wands in its reversal, in combination with our Nine of Wands in its reversal. One card to clarify. There it is. Man, this Tower card all through this eclipse process. This Tower card has been coming up like hotcakes. Now, before you get all stressed out, because I know how you guys get when you see the Tower card, we're going to go through this one more time. There's no reason to fear the Tower card. Okay? So long as you're not in it, so long as a space that you've been working through your shadow work properly. Because often, I have to stress this, a lot of that work in identifying, like the Tower card is often those points of recognizing having to face one's fears, right? It's working in the context of the self. And I have to tell you, the thing with the Tower energy is, it is the same energy that a breakthrough is the same energy that also often can ambiguate a breakdown, right? A breakthrough and a breakdown is all about how one carries something, right? It's not crumbling under the weight of something. It's working in that space of being able to feel, I keep on seeing, coming into that space of recognizing and identifying what an energetic hurdle is. It's identifying and recognizing what one feels is valuable and important. And this is why I keep on seeing that there's something about some of the energy right now. Like when I see Tower card energy, especially with some of the cards I see around this, it's navigating a trigger, right? It's working through triggering situations. What happens when we're triggered, right? When we're triggered, we don't move with intention, right? We allow our defensiveness to get the best of us. We allow an energetic feeling to, we lose sense of ourselves, right? And in those moments, this is often why sometimes when we go through eclipse cycles, we can sometimes backslide, because often eclipse cycles, they can be very triggering. But when we're able to navigate through a trigger and observe it and be intentional, it's not the fact, when we're able to communicate the fact that we're feeling triggered instead of reacting to being triggered, we can have expansive moments, right? because we recognize the fact that we've got a lot of energetic expression that's rising up within us, right? That fight or flight response, like that thing that makes us like, like creates that sense in us. And we talk a lot about the fact that that energetic equivalent was there to protect us. But if we do not learn to heal, the things that are built within us to protect us will become the things that harm us, right? It's not about removing these things entirely. It's not about getting rid of things. It's understanding the reason why they're there in the first place. So I keep on seeing that there's a lot of work that's happening right now as it relates to these connection points. Now, for the energy deep within divine union, this is potentially feeling that sense of being triggered, not even for the sense of the self, but feeling a little bit of that defensiveness for those around the self, right? There's a lot of that. I keep on seeing there's a lot of that energetic fuel there. It's like creating a lot of space that is driving forward with intentionality, right? Because when we feel protective, when we feel defensive, but then again, we're able to communicate or express in a way that I keep on seeing isn't hostility. It feels like it's energetic reason. Then it becomes like I keep on seeing it becomes a motivation forward. It becomes its own path, right? While for a lot of this energy here coming into divine union, what I feel like is so expansive during this time is potentially, I keep on seeing something about the energy. I keep on getting this. There's something about the energy right now coming into divine union that I keep on seeing someone say, like, I'm just going to tell you what I'm seeing. I keep on seeing some kind of feeling of nostalgia arising in terms of looking at something in the past. And someone saying like that, you looked hot there. And another person saying, no, that was a mess, like a hot mess, which is like that space. It's like that space of kind of looking at something that says, wow, I wish I knew you. And another person being like, no, you did not. Because often when we're on that space of healing, and another person sees our pathwork from the past and they articulate about the fact that we look interesting, like that past version of self looks interesting. The present self goes like, no, 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 no. It goes, no, 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 no. It's like, it's different. It's a different thing because we know our own evolution. Right? It's like, I like, that's the energy. Like I can see some energy. I just keep on seeing something where someone's like looking back on something and being like, you look beautiful there, and being like, that was a very confused person. Like that was that is someone that was trying to, like, it's a lot of that like work. I keep on hearing the outside that doesn't match the inside. And that's why there's so much trepidation. I keep on hearing these new partnerships, these chariot energy partners that are coming together right now. It's all baby steps. It's all baby steps. It's approaching each other carefully and gently. Because why? Because this is energy that has been harmed, not in the space of a lack of love, but love that did not feel like love. Because when we don't heal and we try to give love, the love gets miscommunicated as fear, right? The love becomes miscommunicated as hostility. The love becomes miscommunicated as something that feels very other than what another person says it is. So this is why the energy is moving towards each other in a space of delicacy, articulating and saying, I want to show, like building into the pathwork of trust by saying, not only do I want to build a connection with you, but you are energetically safe with me, right? And so there's a lot, I keep on hearing, like, it's interesting because like I almost feel like it's interesting, and that's why it keeps on seeing that it's like chariot energy, because it's almost like the energy that's like skirting around each other. Now, continuing to get clarification between our Ace of Wands in its reversal in combination with our Nine of Wands in its reversal, in combination with our Empress card in its reversal. May I please have one card to clarify? There it is. There's that Devil card. Oh, it's the eclipse. It's like the eclipse. Like I gotta tell you, doubts, fears, anxieties coming out of the woodwork. Here they come. And I gotta stress this. A lot of it, the reason it's feeling more intense right now is because I'm just going to describe to you what we're seeing is happening. Neptune is currently transiting out of Pisces and into Aries. And at the same time, okay, we've got Mercury retrograde. We've got Mercury and Venus that feel like they're going backwards. So it's almost like we got like a traffic jam. There's like a traffic jam at the conversion point between Pisces and Aries. And it's got Neptune Mercury and Venus just all bundled up together, like just all bundled up together. And I keep on describing this as the nostalgia factory. Okay. It's the nostalgia factory because like, here's the thing. Like Mercury is all about moving forward. Okay. Venus is all about a love. And then Neptune is all about the emotion. So the depth of things. So when you put those together, it's like memories. It's like you put those all together and you get like nothing is going anywhere ever again. Everything is going to be ugly forever going forward. But look how beautiful it was. Look what we've lost. And I just need to say this to you. If you're feeling like this, snap out of it. Okay. I'm going to remind you the past, the perception of the past is an illusion, because the past, when you're not looking at it with perspective, is where everything was beautiful and nothing hurt. Okay? The past is where everything was beautiful and then nothing hurt. So I want you to avoid the tendency of wanting to escape into the past right now as we're going through a lot of this transit. Because I'll tell you right now, and you know I'm not the type of person to say this. I'm not saying something from the past is coming back. I'm saying that emotionally, energetically, and spiritually right now, there could be a feeling of the past rising back up to the surface. And it's a comparison between now and then that may feel like it is somewhat triggering. Okay. I want you to understand that. And so I keep on seeing that this is what I meant about breakthroughs or breakdowns, and everything is being articulated as it relates to change. And that's why I'm seeing even now, if these are circumstances or situations where someone is like, trying to come back to someone reminiscing on something. I just keep on getting the message. I just see some kind of situation of someone trying to reminisce upon something and another person being in a space of being like, that's not something I reminisce upon. That's something I've been actively healing from. Like I keep on hearing like these moments where someone is trying to like, you know, like speak speak in a space of like, you know, singing about their feelings and another person saying, cut the music. You know what I mean? Like, because it's the understanding of not reminiscing, but what feels like it's actually changed. And sometimes when someone reminisces upon something, instead of bringing forth what we know needs to be fixed, it doesn't feel like an energetic breakthrough. It feels like an amplification of what was wrong in the first place, right? I keep on hearing, you know, it's like I keep on hearing it's like the new song versus the same old song. It's like the ability of understanding what change feels like, but not becoming nostalgic through it, right? Like that's like, I keep on seeing like that's what's difficult about some of this eclipse energy. So if you're feeling that right now, I want you to focus on your manifestation goals. I want you to kind of keep like, if you have to ground right now through them, make sure you're doing so, continuing to get clarification. And we got to talk about this right now because look, this is I need to show you this right now. Masculine and feminine, bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to, right? We've got the Empress in its reversal right now, and it's King of Cups in its reversal, and the Lover's card in its reversal. I'm telling you right now, it's like this Venus retrograde cycle with the Mercury retrograde cycle. I saw this coming last month. It's like Phantom of the Opera energy. It's like everything is ugly. Like, you know, like it's like I'm going to go hide kind of energy. Can I please get the Empress card in its reverse, combination between the Empress and the Lover's card in its reversal? One card to clarify. Yeah, the Emperor in its reversal. Here we go. Like here, like it's like there's like a lot of this like, energy here. It's like, I just need to stress this. Like, you know, I'm going to listen to me. Don't let this get to you. You are not a mess. You are a work in progress. All right. Our job is not to be perfect so that our flaws become facets, you know? So we work in that space of the minute we're able to put compassion on the place that we feel our flaws are, we're immediately able to extend that to those around us. And I'm telling you right now, I'm trying to save you a reading. Now is not the time to be taking things personally. Okay? Like everybody, if you're on the ropes, okay, if you're feeling like you're on the ropes, I want you to imagine everybody else is on the ropes too. What makes you are not exceptional. You are special, but you are not exceptional in this. And the moment we recognize that we are all special, but we are not exceptional, is that we recognize that we're all going through it together. This can be an expansive time. This can be a time of deep healing. But we have to, I'm telling you right now, I saw this in the Leo full moon coming up. The Leo full moon is a dress rehearsal. If there's a moment where everyone's going through it and you try to make it too much about yourself, it comes through. Like, don't get in your own way right now. Remember, let that compassion guide you forward. Let that sense of understanding pave the way. I know, and listen, if you're wincing or you don't like me saying that, then I'm going to say it to you twice as much right now, because it's all that Aries energy. Nobody's got any time for anything, right? Everybody is feeling pressed on time right now. Saturn is right behind Neptune, okay? This is having an impact. Everyone feels like there isn't enough time to do things. Everyone feels a little behind right now. So when we're able to have compassion for everyone's timing, right? Instead of getting into that space of being like, like right now, like I'm telling you, it's like it's requiring a lot of patience and compassion. Okay. Continuing to get clarification between our Lover's card in its reversal, in combination with our King of Cups in its reversal. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification. There's that Hangman in its reversal. That's a card we're going to be studying at our next tarot class in April, on April 16th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. But I'm going to tell you right now, this is not the time. Don't get into all this woe is me energy now, right? Don't get into all of that accusatory space, right? Because we're going to talk about this. This has been coming through heavy, right? What happens when we want to accuse another of something, right? It's you, right? I don't want to do, I can't do anything. It's you, right? What do we do when we become in that space that we it's like when we say you suck, it's the same thing as saying I suck. Because when you say you suck, you go, I don't have to do anything. It's not me, right? When I say I suck, you go, oh, I can't do anything. This is just, I'm the worst, right? That woe is me energy that keeps us in a space of not being able to activate upon something, right? Moving out of the space of feeling in that space of just working in that context of feeling that heaviness, right? When we feel that energetic heaviness, and this is why I keep on getting the fact that the Leo energy helps us in this way, feeling that weight. And then what happens when we feel the weight? When we recognize the honor of the burden that we carry, right? When we don't put our head down, when we put our head up, right? When we don't feel like something is happening to us, but it is something that we find the ability to or determination to bear, we can move mountains, right? We can find that inner strength within us. And it's like that moment that, I keep on hearing, it's the difference between saying to the self, this is too heavy, versus the ability to say, it is a joy to carry this burden, right? That what we carry, the weight of it speaks towards its significance. And that's why I keep on seeing that for some of the energy and separation, this is why I see some of these partnerships that are forming right now, there's hesitation there. There's conscientiousness, because I keep on hearing this energy that's building towards one another. And what are they saying as they come together? I don't want to be a burden, right? I hear this energy saying, I'm healing so that my love does not feel like a burden, right? Because when we heal, we encounter our fear. We heal our fear so that the translation of our love does not come across to those we care about as fear. So this is the energy that when they introduce themselves to each other, what they're really saying behind the words is, I'm healing to carry my burden because I don't want my love to be a burden. I want it to lift up, not feel like it holds down. While for a lot of this energy right now, Like I keep on hearing like the energy coming into divine union feels like they're coming up for air. You know, I can see some energy feeling like they're coming up for air because they're looking back at something and another person saying, you look beautiful. And another person saying, I'm surprised I survived that. I'm surprised, like I see the energy going, you look beautiful. And someone being like, I'm surprised I survived that, because there's something about that here. That the energy, like the energy feels, like I told you, nostalgia is being created. So it's like that moment of being able to reminisce, being able to look at something through new eyes, and suddenly I keep on seeing something looks sweeter to another, but it looks worse for the self, right? It's almost like that moment that we recognize how far the journey has taken us. But I feel like even in that space, I keep on hearing for some of the energy deep within divine union, it feels like a release and a relief, because it's the energy that, recognizes that they have a long way to go, but they also appreciate how far they've come. I keep on hearing, it's like, whenever I have that message, it says spirit has a hand on each shoulder, which is like, I always like to point out, spirit is like, gives one pat of congratulations and one pat of consolation. While for masculine and feminine, deep within divine union right now, this is a lot. Like, look, this is a lot of work right now in feeling hard on the self. Right? There's a lot of sentimentality here. Right? There's a lot of this there's a lot of this feeling of there's a lot of listen, there's just a lot of feeling right now in relationality to feeling really hard to the self. And here's the thing, when you hold yourself, and this is what I'm going to say for the energy deep within divine union, because I've got both the energies here, masculine and feminine. Here's the thing, they're both in it. Like they're both feeling this right now. Okay? When we hold ourselves to high standards, it always feels a little bit like we're letting ourselves down. It's like the irony of being on a compassionate path. It's like when you build into that space of holding yourself to a high standard, it can kind of suck. It can kind of suck. It's like you always feel in some way that you could be doing more. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're doing just fine. If you're in that space, this is not the time to be splitting hairs. This is the time to identify. And I feel like that's that space of the counterparts that look towards one another and they give each other that space of compassion and reminding themselves, like acting as that clear mirror to each other and saying, your job is not to be perfect. Again, it's the same thing I've been saying. Perfection is a cardinal destination. It's not something you can chart on the map. It's always ahead of us. Right? So being able to navigate that desire for perfection with proportionality right now is very important. Continuing to get clarification between our Tower card and the Devil card in its upright. These two together, it's like, ugh. Let's work through this to an extent. Can I get one card? Yep. This is that 10, the 10 of Pentacles in its upright, right? I'm just going to tell you right now, there's something about this eclipse that's bringing out a lot of feelings of fear. If you are someone that struggles with anxiety right now, this might not be a very good transit for you, because I can kind of see that like there's something about this energy that it's like a lot of that, it's like working through a lot of those spaces. But this is why I keep on seeing being able to have clarity. Remember the lessons that we navigated during the Mars retrograde. What were the lessons that we worked through during the Mars retrograde? Confidence and courage are cousins. They look the same, but they're very different. Why? Because confidence is surety. Confidence doesn't require courage. Confidence is feeling sure about something. Courage is existing in the space of being able to face one's fear. When we are courageous, it's not that we never feel confident when we're required to have courage. Why would you need confidence if you have courage? If you're sure about something, you don't need to be able to face fear. Often having courage is the vibration of feeling like one is facing the fear. It doesn't feel courageous. It sometimes feels it feels disempowering. Sometimes it feels energetically dangerous, right? Because often when we're in that modality of having to confront our fear, being able to identify it, being able to understand the nature of it, that helps us recognize who we are and what is important to us. So I keep on seeing, if you're going through this path work right now and it's hard for you, like I like to describe, you guys, if you've been here before, I like to describe, look at that fear. Look at that fear that you carry, almost like, again, a little child. I like to describe it. It's like the little creepy child, right? And when the little creepy child comes up to you, sometimes it taps you and goes, "I made you something," and you're like, "Oh my God, what?" And it shows you something, right? And you go, that's weird. Okay. Like that's weird. Like, it's like that moment that you look at that, you go, that's okay. That's something, we're going to put this here, right? It's like, it's something about working through what isn't communicable. But like when we're in that space, and again, the fear that's within us is there to protect us. So when we're able to have the fear that's healthy, the energy of the energetic child comes and like pulls on us, "Oh my gosh, you scared me." And you go, "I made you something." You're like, "What'd you make me?" And then you look at the picture and you go, "You know what? That's something we can address. That's something that we can take care of. Thank you for that note." Right? So I feel like I want you to think about that right now. If you're feeling a lot of that anxiety or uncertainty, don't just move in accordance to it. Ask yourself where it comes from to understand better what its source is, to allow you to move it into a space that feels like it's energetically productive. Right? And that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of this energy and separation right now, working through those experiences. Like, I think that there's something really painful as it relates to some of these connections, because I can see some energetic connections that are healing from experiences where they're saying, the possibility of being able to move forward in a certain way wasn't there because like someone was articulating that they cared, but it didn't feel like what they were giving me was care. It just felt like they were giving me their fear, right? Like, that's why we work to heal, so that our love feels like love. And that's why I see for a lot of the energy right now coming into divine union, that ability, like that's why I see for some of that energy, like I see some energy looking back at somebody. I see the energy like looking back at a past version of counterpart fondly. And the other person saying, like, this is what I mean about them saying like, that you looked very beautiful there, and another person saying that wasn't beautiful, that's a very scared person you're looking at, right? Because that's the energy that's like working in the context of seeing and understanding how far they've come. Like, it's almost like I keep on hearing that sentimentality that arises when we can see beyond the surface of something and we remember the inner world that existed behind it. While for a lot of this energy right now, deep within divine union, I just keep on seeing that this is a lot of that energy that's just working. I keep on saying working to maintain the energetic standard. And the only thing I'm going to kind of say right now is allowing oneself not to feel overly protective in relationality to the counterpart. Because I keep on seeing like there's something about this here, which is like, I keep on hearing the word respectfully. I keep hearing the word respectfully because, like there's a little bit of this energy here. Like, and this is the thing about it. There's some kind of work that is happening right now for energy deep within divine union that expresses and articulates the need of understanding that compassion in all things does not require one to be an energetic doormat. That's where this is coming from, right? That compassion for all things does not require one to be an energetic doormat. It's almost like that space of being able to amplify and articulate like healthy boundaries. And the reason that we say that is because the compassion that we give to others does not negate the compassion of the self, right? Like, that's the thing about it. It's like, that's why you can exist in a space where you can have healthy boundaries without being an energetic doormat, because you can respectfully maintain what another needs without feeling like you're being irrespective to what you need in the process. Continuing to get clarification between the Devil card in its upright in combination with our Emperor card in its reversal. Yep, we've got here, boom, we've got here like double 10 cards. Make sure that you go and take a look at today's spread if you're following us on the podcast, because this is there's a lot of intensity in this spread. And I keep on hearing like the major message right now that is articulating a lot of these energetic connections at this time is I keep on hearing problem focused instead of solution oriented. Problem focused instead of solution oriented. Why is that coming through? Because, and we've talked about this, if we're in a space that we understand that a limitation or blockage is always in defining a problem, one can always find a space where problems exist, right? If this is a modality where you say that there's always a reason why you can't, then you will always find a reason why you cannot, right? There's always a reason. Like it's a lot of like, it's a Zeno's paradox situation. It's a situation where if you're saying like you can't wait for perfect. Perfect does not exist. Ideal is not to be found. Ideal is what you do with it. So I keep on seeing that there's a lot of this work, and I can see that there's some energy right now like across the frequencies that is working in that context. And it does feel like that, like if there's any kind of, and I keep on saying, if there's any kind of polarization that's occurring right now, and it has a lot to do with the fact that Jupiter's in Gemini, it has to do in the context of what feels like it's productive versus what feels like it's dwelling, right? Like what feels like it's ruminating on something without finding something that feels like it's an energetic solution point. I keep on getting a mess. Bitterness is what happens when we stew, is what I keep hearing. When we stew. Bitterness is what happens when we stew. But that's why we see like not allowing oneself to become bitter almost creates that space that you remain in a point of activation, because you don't get caught like stewing on something. You just allow oneself to move in it. Like I keep on seeing, like these are the messages that come through with Neptune. I keep on hearing like it's giving me like the funny thing about I keep on hearing, and this is the thing about it with like the Neptune transit, is it's not a shipwreck, it's hidden treasure, right? Like the ability to look at something and not just focus on the negative, but try to build into the context of what one can fix, right? Like what one can heal, what one is doing. That's why I see that there's so much of this frustration point here, because it's the difference between, feeling the sense of wanting to stew in something versus doing something that actually feels like it's energetically productive. And so I keep on seeing that this is happening across all the frequencies right now as it relates to, I keep on hearing direction. Like it's like identifying what feels like it has direction. Now, and for a lot, and I'm going to say this is having a big impact right now on the energy and separation, because especially if there's something that is occurring here from the past, wherein there's some of that articulation point, there's some of that space of being able to identify, and like I keep on seeing like the difference between something coming back, like this is the difference between I keep on hearing this is a difference between nostalgia and progress. And I keep on seeing that for something about the energy and separation, the ability to tell the difference between someone being nostalgic for something that you're healing from, or someone truly wanting to progress, understanding that something needs to change. This is what is amplifying the direction versus the things that are closing right now in partnership, in separation versus what is opening. Right? And a lot of that I keep on hearing, and I keep on hearing density, like depth is not direction. Feeling the intensity of something isn't direction. The only thing that is direction is direction. And that's why I keep on hearing that a lot of these partnerships that are occurring right now in separation, the fundamental point that we're identifying is this is the energy. This is why they're chariot partnerships. They're saying the one thing I will never do is create confusion, because it's a continuation of the lesson that says we are not responsible for the feelings that we create in each other. If I can't go in and change the way you feel, it's not my responsibility. There is only one feeling within the self that I am responsible for if I engender it in you. And that is confusion, because confusion can always be brought forth with clarity. So that's why I keep on seeing that these are energies that are creating right now. They're hesitant, but they're giving each other clarity. Continuing to get clarification between our Emperor card and our Hangman in its reversal. I'm just going to tell you this right now. I'm already going to one card to clarify. Yep, 2 of Swords in its reversal. So I just need to stress this right now. I would not be surprised right now. So when I see masculine and feminine, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to right now, the energies are parallel. The energies are parallel right now. So I would not be surprised if there isn't a lot of activation right now between the energy. And a lot of that, like I keep on seeing, like there's a lot of, I'm going to just explain to you what I'm seeing for masculine and feminine right now. Feminine is very much in the space of going on the journey of the self, working on that context of feeling, and I keep on hearing, working through the feeling. Feminine keeps on healing from the wound of feeling like they're perpetually disappointing the energy surrounding the self, is what I keep on seeing. And what's beautiful about that, even though it's triggering, is, and this is why I keep on seeing, I feel like feminine, like, and that's why I keep on hearing a lot of feminine being in that space of working through the context of disappointment to such an extent of basically articulating and saying that feminine is healing from the feeling of fearing of disappointing another, because they're asking the logical question. And when you feel like you're disappointing another, you have to immediately ask the question and say, what were they expecting? Right? It's okay to disappoint some energy. It's like when you're on the pathwork of self, you have to be ready to disappoint those around you, because it's often in those moments that you recognize what another's expectations are for you versus what's in service to the self. It's like a lot of this energy of the feminine that's like I keep on seeing, like respectfully, we don't take each other's pathwork personally, because when we're focused on our own, we're not building into the expectation of what we demand from another, right? So there's a lot of, I keep on seeing there's a lot of that fortitude that's coming through right now for a lot of the energetic feminine energy. And I like it because it feels very much like the type of force that is working in the context of building appreciation for the self and the journey of the self. But also like arriving at a place of not feeling fear or anxiety as it relates to the expectations of those surrounding the self, right? That's hard, because as feminine tries to heal that, it feels like feminine's getting used to experiencing those moments of disappointment. Now, for masculine energy, I see masculine energy simultaneously being on a very similar journey of the self, but this may feel more akin to questioning oneself, questioning one's own ability, questioning one's own emotions. And this is often a hurdle that I see that occurs right now, particularly for masculine energy. I keep on saying that masculine has a harder time identifying the fact that the ephemeral exists. I keep on getting this message. Masculine has a harder time recognizing the space that the ephemeral exists. And that's what's funny about that. Like, it feels like masculine is healing from the fact of having to recognize that feelings are real and valid. Like that's the thing about it. It's like I see some masculine energy that's like, I am starting to entertain the possibility that feelings exist. But here's the thing. Like, working through the emotions, like when we and it starts with I don't mean that, like, and I'm sure if you're masculine energy, I hope that you understand what I mean here. When we refuse to acknowledge our own feelings exist, we are not able to acknowledge others. And that's the thing. Like, masculine is recognizing that the pathwork to being able to honor another's emotions, they have to honor their own. Like, that's the thing about it. Like, masculine's like, oh no, the feelings, because like it's in that moment that masculine embraces their feelings, then they're no longer running away from them, and that means that in kind they're no longer running away from others' feelings in the process. Like, that's the thing. Like, it requires the masculine to find that strength within, right? The bravery to be vulnerable. Continuing to have clarification between our 10 of Pentacles and our 10 of Swords and its reversal, right? Yep, we've got here the Judgment card and its reversal, because here's the thing. when we don't, and everything has to do, okay, we're going to talk about this right now because everybody misunderstands this. Honoring the feelings, all right, and this is a different message for masculine and feminine. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. For feminine, honoring the feelings doesn't mean that you just talk about your feelings all the time. Okay, here's the thing, because here's the thing, feelings change. Feelings are like the ocean, they're like waves, they move. When we're in a space of introspecting, we interrogate our own feelings first to understand what the feelings are asking for, right? For masculine, we cannot make room for others' emotions. We cannot honor others' emotions unless we honor our own. How are you going to honor another's emotions if you refuse to honor your own? The esteem that we give to our emotions is immediately the same esteem that we give to those around us. The ability to become empathetic and compassionate is not for display, because it's the authenticity act. It's the act that it happens inwards, because the pathway in doing so, it doesn't allow for it. It's like the moment that we honor our own, it's like they immediately, like the minute that we start to honor and appreciate and introspect upon our emotions is the minute that we can understand and recognize the emotions of those around us, right? It's like requiring that journey inward. But it's complicated because I feel like there's a lot of that work as it relates to masculine, doing that work of trying to trying to face like emotions that they feel like they've been avoiding, right? Continuing to get clarification between our 10 of Swords and its reversal in combination with our 2 of Swords and its reversal. One card to clarify. There it is. I knew that was coming through. This is a very vulnerable energy, right? I'm going to say this again. Do you think getting stronger means you feel strong? Have you ever tried to get good at something? You usually feel like you're a mess when you're doing it, right? When we're working on healing, it's messy. We don't heal to feel good. We don't heal to feel good. We heal because it's good for us. We don't heal because it feels good. We heal because it's good for us. Feels good is good, right? And sometimes I keep on seeing that there's a lot of that. Like, this is why we talk a lot about that space of like moving away from righteousness. Because often when we start to feel righteousness, and that's when we got to start questioning ourselves, because there's always something to learn. There's always some space of expanding. There's always some space of identifying something that isn't in the realm. Like, there's always something more to understand is what I keep seeing. And the thing about it is, when we navigate the world in the space of being a perpetual student, we are constantly in a space of learning. Right? And that doesn't mean that we don't know anything. We arrive in a place that we say, I'm glad to have found myself here. I am ready to give forth, but I'm also ready to receive, right? I keep on hearing existence is a collaborative act, because it's both receptive and it's tangible, right? It's the give and take that we often experience as we navigate. I keep on seeing sublime moments in our journey, right? And it's not easy, right? It sometimes allows for those spaces of being vulnerable. But again, that vulnerability, that adaptability, the ability to, the ability not to ruminate, but to expand, allows for the difference between a breakthrough and a breakdown, right? Because it's not a space where, it's not a space where, I keep on hearing it's a no grumbling zone. It's not about grumble. It's not about grumbling. It's about doing something. It's about putting some activation to something. And the thing about it is, and I'm going to tell you right now, some of this eclipse energy, it feels very good to grumble. It feels very good to grumble. But instead, I keep on hearing, instead of grumbling, be humble, right? Because when we grumble about something, we just complain. We're saying we complain in a way that we can't do anything. But when we're humble, we look at something and say, what can I do to make something better, right? And I keep on seeing that this is why for a lot of the energy in separation right now, that feeling, I can see some energy that's actively healing between the difference between someone, I keep on hearing like someone trying to come back to fix something, still still talking about what was wrong instead of having a conversation as to how to make something better, right? Like the difference between someone coming into a space of always finding fault. And it's sometimes in those moments that we've had distance, right? We've gotten clarity, and then someone comes back to us and it's like I hear the same grumbling, the same ability of talking about what's wrong instead of talking about what could be made better, that we get clarity as to what was wrong in the first place. And at the same time, this is why I keep on hearing that the reason that some of these new partnerships that are forming right now are chariot energy is because this is the energy that says, I don't spend time grumbling about what I wish could be. I keep on hearing wishes are for people who aren't doing anything. The only difference between a wish and a manifestation is a wish is looking at something and wishing for it. And manifestation is the wish made active. Manifestation says, that's why I keep on hearing the thing about some of these chariot partnerships that are forming right now is they actually are saying to each other, I don't wish, right? Because wishing is not doing, because longing is not activating. So this is the energy that says this is the energy that I can hear the energy almost saying as it relates to the past. And this is why if they're unpacking the past that they build forth, they're going, I wish something was different, but they're not fixated on it because they're saying, I recognize that wishing does not make something real. It's like the energy that's like, do you understand? It's like the energy that's disillusioned from wishing for something to be different because they're operating in the space of clarity, right? So that's the energy that says, I keep on hearing the energy in separation saying, I don't wish so that I can dream, right? I don't wish so that I can dream. Continuing for the final card for today's spread, between our Judgment card in its reversal in combination with our Strength card in its reversal. One card to clarify. Clarification. Wow, man, make sure that you go take a look at today's spread because it is wild. We've got three 10 cards out right now. We've got the 10 of Cups is our final card for today. And this is what I mean. Like, this is what I meant about that sense of saying, I don't wish, I dream, right? Because wishing is the latent state of manifestation. Wishing is putting forth a desire, but not doing anything to make it active. It's easy. Like I keep on seeing, it's easy to wish for things, but doing things does things. So I keep on seeing that there's a lot of this energy. Like that's why it feels like a positive disillusion. Like it's a positive disillusion because this is the energy that says wishing doesn't accomplish anything. Doing things does things. Activating does things. Doing things in a practical manner. And that's why I feel like for a lot across the frequencies right now, it does feel like do you see this? And I want you to look at this spread. Make sure that you head over to Substack and you can see the full spread. Do you see going through, this is what shadow work, this spread looks like what shadow works looks like, which is encountering the fears, but then moving through determination through them and allowing oneself to find the point of having a breakthrough, right? And that breakthrough is working towards a manifestation goal, is being able to look at something and say, is this moving in the direction of it? Or is it dwelling in the fact that something was not that? And I keep on hearing, that there's something really fundamental that's happening across all the frequencies that almost articulates about the fact that someone would rather dwell than do anything. Right? It's very easy to dwell on things because dwelling on things almost creates that context by which you're not doing something. So there's something really fundamental there, because what I'm effectively seeing is, again, and this is why I keep on seeing that and I got to tell you, this is all of that Aries energy that I'm seeing, because again, for the energy deep within divine union, there's something about focusing on what is positive, not allowing oneself to feel overwhelmed as it relates to fears or looking at the negative, but trying to focus on pathwork of what feels like it is. I don't want to say overly positive, but constructive, right? I keep on hearing the word constructive is like the key word right now for a lot of the energy deep within divine union. For energy coming into divine union, I keep on hearing this is the paradox. This is a lot of energy that's coming into divine union that's working through the paradox of sometimes when things look good on the outside, it's not articulating how we feel on the inside. And this may have to do with some nostalgia that's being formed on something the counterpart is looking at and saying like, I know it looks good, but it wasn't good, right? Like it's working through the context of looks good, feels good, is good. While for masculine and feminine energy right now in separation, the word constructive is coming through right now. There's a lot of energy shifting right now in separation. And a lot of that shift, especially if there's something coming back from the past, the word that is amplifying whether something is moving in a positive direction or not is the word constructive. If someone's dwelling on something, it's not constructive. If someone's ruminating on something, it's not constructive. If someone comes back in a place that it feels like they're still complaining about something, it doesn't feel constructive. Progress is progress. And that's why I keep on seeing that a lot of the new energetic connections that are forming right now, they feel like breakthrough energy, because this is the energy that says, rest assured, I'm going to energetically protect you by not creating any sense of confusion in relationality to where something is going. Bottom of the deck on today's reading, especially with the 8 of Cups in its reversal. This is having to do with like working through, like I keep on hearing like the thing about it is, and I think it's interesting because like it feels like this eclipse is built to make you want to dwell. Right? It does. It feels like all the energy that's like dwell, like bemoan. But like when we're in that space where when we have a clear vision of ourselves, like we don't like I keep on saying like don't fall for the illusion of this eclipse. You know what I mean? Like it's like you have to disbelieve in the illusion of the eclipse that I keep on telling you is like the joint chords of being like everything is awful, everything is ugly, everything is getting worse. You know, like it's like a lot of that energy that's a combination for, and like everything was better in the past, it's never going to be that good again. Like it's a lot of that work. And I'm telling you right now, it's the bundle of planets that are pushing out of Pisces into Aries, right? And again, it's like when we have a clarification point of ourselves, we lose the ability of desiring to dwell, because while it might feel good, it's not productive. It's not constructive. You know, it feels almost energetically indulgent. But I also see right now, like that's why I say, if you're feeling a little bit of this slog right now, if you're feeling like on the ropes in this eclipse cycle, I keep on hearing, write down that list of things that you can do to feel better. Give yourself that list, baby steps. Remember, you don't have to, big change is not necessary for change. Tiny steps pay off. So even like, again, even if you're taking baby steps right now, let those baby steps guide you forward, because, you know, everything I keep on hearing, you know, and this is why it's incubation energy, like small steps lead to big action, right? Being patient with ourselves. Sometimes, again, it's very, very much the same message. How do you swallow a whale? The same way that you would swallow a mouse, one bite at a time. Having those moments, giving yourself those spaces, not being too hard on yourself, not feeling energetically overwhelmed. And if you feel overwhelmed, break it down. If you still feel overwhelmed, break it down even further, right? Write down your victories right now. Let that like build, I keep on hearing, build that cord, let that cord guide you. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and receiving these messages. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can do so on my site. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I would encourage you to do it there. I also want to give you guys a couple of insights before we get started on personal readings. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who attended our recent tarot class on the Justice card. Our next tarot class will be held on Wednesday, April 16th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We are going to be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Hanged Man. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, now is a great time to become a member to our Tarot Church class program, because as a monthly subscriber, you will have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Archive. So you've got almost a full month to catch up if you would like to catch up. It's not necessary to catch up. I will be doing my best to give you a recap on everything we've studied in each class. But if you want to get that robust education, ready before we have that class, now would be a great time to join. You will also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions you may have in relation to anything that we're studying or have currently studied. And if you become a founding member, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, but you will also receive a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, wherein I will assess where you are on your personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining our class program. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Substack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings, services. I post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students that are seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. They are focused on each individual's spiritual goals and personal journey work. I take a very limited number of students for this reason. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for clients that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings. You can purchase them per dream or as a package. I simply ask, if you purchase the package, that you make sure to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal to utilize the tarot to understand the key messages and themes coming across to you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again